Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Mr.
afternoon,
Murphy.
Judge.
Hi, Ms. Bridgewater.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Let's see, good afternoon, courtroom 3. I take it we're going to start in courtroom 3 today?
Yes, Judge. I just don't have a calendar. Come on, man. What's your name? Come on, sit right here for me. Pronounce your last name again. Ramos. Tramos. I have Miss Tramos, Judge. Thank
Okay.
you.
Is it Babila Trabus?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Position
Thank
number
you.
14.
Yes, number 14. And let's see, let me make sure that we have, who's representing Ms. Tramus today?
Checking, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, it's Ms. Kim. Oh, she's on the line now. I see her.
Oh, okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Kim.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. Hold on, please. Thank you.
Okay, I just want to make sure that you were here.
Yes.
Good afternoon again, Ms. Tramus. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Can you hear me, Ms. Tramus?
Yes, yes,
Okay, and do you agree to have your case heard by video?
yes. Can you hear? Yes. Okay.
All right. Ms. Tramus, you've been charged in case 22 CR 0000742A with simple battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard? Is pretrial on?
Pretrial is not on right now, Your Honor.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Arnold.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. So what we have is that this is the defendant's first arrest. This incident happened earlier this morning around 12 a.m. at 1000 Peachtree Street in Atlanta. The defendant told officers that she was out to dinner with her husband, Mr. Sebastian Romeo, for Valentine's Day. And a verbal dispute came about after they discovered that the restaurant they were supposed to go to for Valentine's Day was actually closed down. The defendant admitted to officers to slapping Mr. Romeo in his face. And she also advised that she is currently pregnant with his child. We are asking for a $2,000 surety bond, no further contact with Mr. Sebastian Romeo, and a one-day anger awareness, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, Your Honor. That's just based on the facts of this case. We were able to make contact with Mr. Romeo, but he is a Spanish-speaking victim, Your Honor. But he did say that him and the defendant have been together for a year and they live together. He also confirmed that she was pregnant. The victim said that they have argued in the past, but things have never gotten physical before. So the victim said that he does want the defendant home. However, we are concerned since there has not been enough time to cool down. That happened earlier this morning. So we are still requesting that there be no further contact with the $2,000 surety bond. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mrs. Tremises is 30 years old and she came from Venezuela. Actually, when she was in Venezuela, she was a lawyer. And she came to US because of political situation that is going on right now. They have very serious issues going on. He's been here in US for about 7 years. And he was actually traveling to Georgia to see if this was a good fit to move to. She's planning to go back there, go back to Florida Thursday, as everybody knows she's pregnant and she's expecting a baby in April 2022. And right now at the jail, she has not been able to eat well, and there's no vitamin that is available for her, and she does not have fruits, healthy food to keep her baby inside healthy. We strongly asked for a signature bond because it was, she actually denies the allegation, and it was more about a culturally different gesture and expression of love, and it could have been misunderstood by American culture, and yet that's something that we have to discuss later. Today for the bond, we would like to request for a signature bond because she is willing to come back. She's not a flight risk, she's not a danger to the society, and she is qualified for unsecured judicial release. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further violent contact with Mr. Romeo. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. I'm going to let you out, Ms. Tramus, but you need to make sure that you keep in touch with the court and that you attend your next court date. Okay?
Okay, got it.
All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Position number 2, Miss Burns, please.
Good afternoon, Ms. Burns. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Burns, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000727E with abandonment of dependent child. Is there a history, Mr. Howard? Good afternoon.
Yeah, she don't have anything related to what she's charged with. She had a 06 cruise in the first obstruction. And stuff was dead docket. 2010 theft by taking Nolo.
Okay, thank you. Afternoon, Ms. Guidry.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Your Honor, yesterday, officers responded to defects at 2353 Metropolitan Parkway Southwest in Atlanta due to the defendant refusing to take custody of her child, KB, from the Division of Family Services, and she failed to provide the necessary accommodations needed to sustain the child's well-being. The defendant further told officers that she would rather go to jail than to provide any parental responsibilities to her 14-year-old daughter, Your Honor. We're asking for a $500 surety bond and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And if there is a parenting class, a parenting class. This is due to the defendant abandoning her child, Your Honor. And we have no information as to whether the child is still with defects or if she was retrieved by someone else. So we'd like to maintain the safety of the child, and that's why we're asking for the $500 surety.
Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Akia Burns is 39 years old. She has been in the Atlanta area since November 2021. She has 3 children, ages 14, 18, and 13. Ms. Burns completed high school and she has 32 college credits in social work. Ms. Burns is unemployed at this time, Your Honor. She had recently acquired a new position at Emory Hospital, working as a loan processing agent. However, she lost that job because of this case that is before you now. She also is residentially challenged at this time, Your Honor. We are connecting her with our social workers to deal with not only her living situation, but perhaps her situation with her daughter. She denies the allegations, Your Honor. She states that she is afraid of her daughter. Her daughter is 160 pounds. My client is 130 pounds. She states that her daughter has attacked her on more than one occasion. She has also threatened to kill her. Ms. Burns's position is that her daughter is still in the custody of defects. As a matter of fact, she had a court date yesterday as Ms. Burns had reached out to the police on more than one occasion to report that her daughter had physically attacked her. We did not hear about any recent or significant history on Ms. Burns's part. Therefore, Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond as she is unable to pay anything toward bond, and she does not have any family here, Your Honor. Thank you.
$1,000 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Burns.
Thank you.
Position number 3, Parnell. Ms. Parnell.
Good afternoon, Ms. Fennell. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 0000735F with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Oh, first arrest.
Ms. Guidry?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, officers arrived at 997 Walker Avenue, Southeast Atlanta. They spoke with Brian Angelia, Angeliah, who stated that there was a dispute between the defendant and himself, and he stated that he was not injured. However, they spoke with the defendant, who admitted that she and Mr. Angeli had gotten into an argument the night before over dishes. The argument continued the next day, but then it turned physical when the defendant punched him in the face. She stated that this caused a bruise. However, officers did not observe a bruise to his face. At the time of the incident, which was yesterday, the parties did live together. We tried to contact the victim, however, we had no contact information. We're asking.
Excuse me, Your Honor, I am the victim.
Hold on. Yeah, I see you there, sir.
My apologies.
Okay, no problem. I'll acknowledge you. I'll give you the opportunity to speak if that's what you want to do, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I apologize, Ms. Guidry. You go ahead.
Okay. And Your Honor, I'm sorry, he spoke to our victim advocate this morning. And of course, he is on the line. We're asking for a $2,500 surety bond, a stay away from the incident location, no further contact with Brian Angeli, 1-day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. This is largely due to the nature of the offense, given that the incident occurred yesterday, that there's no 24-hour cool down period. That's why we're asking for the stated recommendation.
Thank you. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Candace Connell is 27 years old. She is a long-term resident of Georgia. She has family here, including her boyfriend, Mr. Brian Angelic, who's on the Zoom call, along with her parents and siblings. Your Honor, we are opposed to the stay away. That is a residence that Mr. Angelic and Ms. Connell shares. And at this time, she does not have an alternate address. Ms. Connell completed high school. She has an associate's in psychology. At this time, she's currently working as an administrative assistant at the Luxay Linear Drains Company. She has been in that position for 3 months. However, prior to that, she had been working primarily independent contractor jobs and had been averaging no more than about 20 hours per week. Therefore, Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond on Ms. Connell's behalf, primarily in light of her negative criminal history. Your Honor, again, we are opposed to the stay away order and ask that you instead order a no violent contact order. And I had the occasion to reach out to Mr. Angelic, who states that he wishes to continue to have contact as well. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Angelic, if you will unmute yourself and raise your right hand for me, please. Unmute yourself first.
There we go. Can you hear me, Your Honor?
Yes. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
I would like to attest to that, what you just stated, that yes, I would like for her to return home with no violent contact. She works hard. We have a wonderful living arrangement as it is, me as the income provider, her as the homemaker, as the caretaker. In question, the incident of yesterday, yes, it did reach to the point of her hitting my face. However, the characterization.
Objection, Your Honor.
Your Honor, he's able to speak to anything in regards to the Ayala factors.
Okay, I'm gonna allow him to tell the court what he wants to tell the court. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. She did hit my face. However, yes, the characterization of a punch is a bit excessive, as yes, as according to the officers, there was no bruise, and I would more characterize it as a slap to the face. And again, in the heat of the moment, something that was not premeditated and something that she would not do in her right mind. As someone who does have some mental issues in the past, this is something that she has struggled with. I am prepared to be in contact with her psychiatrist, Dr. Matthews, to ensure that she is back on medication and in psychiatric care as soon as possible. And if necessary, I will take a leave of absence from work to ensure her well-being should her psychiatrist recommend that that would be the best course of action.
Okay, thank you, sir. It's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, a one-day anger awareness class, no further violent contact with Mr. Angelica, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All
Nothing.
right,
Further, Your Honor.
good work. Good luck to you, Ms. Connell, and you also, Mr. Angelica.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Who do we have next?
Position number 10, Ms. Moss, please.
Good afternoon, Ms. Moss. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 0000733J with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
No, first arrest.
Okay. Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. So just so you know, this is a cross defendant with Bruce Tanner. He's position number 13. Your Honor, this incident happened yesterday at 500 Northside Circle in Atlanta. Cross defendant Bruce Tanner advised that he and his girlfriend, the defendant in this case, got into a dispute. During that dispute, Mr. Tanner was stabbed by the defendant. The defendant admitted to having a knife, but could not recall how Mr. Tanner was stabbed. The defendant in this case, Your Honor, advised that Mr. Tanner choked her and slammed her to the floor, causing neck and hip pain. And officers were able to observe visible marking on the inside of her eye. And Mr. Tanner admitted to pushing Ms. Ross to the floor, but said it was because that she was attempting to stab him. So because officers could not determine who the primary aggressor was, they arrested both of them. However, Your Honor, we would like to point out to the court that there are 2 open cases against Mr. Tanner for battery family violence. The first one is case number 22CR000132B, and that is from December of last year, which also included a cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, where he received a $2,000 good bond. And then also case number 22CR000139B from January of this year, where he also received a $2,000 good bond. In both cases, Mr. Tanner had the condition to stay away from that 500 Northside Circle address and to have no further contact with Ms. Moss. But so because of those open cases, Your Honor, we do believe that the defendant will reoffend. And at this point, he has battered her from December and then January and now February. So we would like to prevent an incident for March, Your Honor. So we are requesting a $5,000 signature bond for Ms. Moss, that there be no further contact with Bruce Tanner. Bruce Tanner spelled BREECE. Tanner is spelled TANER. A one-day anger awareness and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, Your Honor.
Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Moss is actually, she is 29 years old and her house is in her name.
Okay, Ms. Kim, before you go on, the state's recommending a signature bond.
Yes, we have no objection, Your Honor.
Okay, so you don't have any objection to a signature bond, a stay away, a no further contact. I'm not gonna make her stay away from her own house.
Perfect, that's it.
Okay?
Yes,
And,
Your Honor.
no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
That's fine with us.
Okay, I
Yes,
just wanted, I thought it would be, so.
yes,
$5,000 signature bond through pretrial. No further contact with Mr. Tanner, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you. Good luck to you, Ms. Moss.
Position number 12, Judge, Ms. Ray, please. Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Ray. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Ms. Ray, you've been charged in case 22 CR 0000728B with obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
It's a second arrest. 2015 possession of marijuana. She did pretrial diversion for it. It was dismissed.
Okay. Ms. Arnold.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened yesterday at 522 Creekside Way in Roswell. It appears that Deputy Brutley spelled Brutley, was at the location to evict the defendant. When the deputy asked the defendant to gather her belongings and exit the apartment, the defendant refused at that time, and she continued to use profanity towards Deputy Brutley and the eviction crew. Finally, the defendant was instructed to place her hands behind her back to be arrested, and the defendant once again refused to comply and began swinging her arms away from the deputy. Your Honor, based on the facts of this case, in her limited history, we are recommending a $2,500 signature bond, that there be no further contact with Deputy Brutley, and a stay away from 522 Creekside Way in Roswell, as well as no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Sorry, Ms. Arnold. What's the bond recommendation?
A $2,500 signature bond.
From jail, right?
Yes, it'll be through the jail. You
Yes.
don't have any objection to that, Mrs. Kim?
Your Honor.
All right. Is she, I don't know does she still have belongings at Creekside Way that she's gonna have to retrieve in some way?
Can we just in case, can we have a one-time visit with a law enforcement officer? Because the reason that she was angry, she didn't have any notice of eviction.
Okay, so I'll allow her to go back there with law enforcement to retrieve her belongings, okay?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Ms. Ray.
Thank you.
That was $2,500.
That's correct.
Thank you.
That's all for courtroom 3.
Okay, thank you. Y'all have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Afternoon, how you doing today?
Wonderful, wonderful. We have in front of you position number 1, Mr. Gary Banks.
Good afternoon, Mr. Banks. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Banks. You've been charged in case 22 CR 0000734F with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Arrest. 2019 possession of drug-related objects. Possession of cocaine. That's open. 19 CP 182668. 2018 possession of drug-related objects. NOD. 2017 possession of drug-related objects conviction. And before that was 07 possession of cocaine dismissed.
All right, Ms. Guidry?
Yes, Your Honor. Yesterday, officers responded to the hub at Peachtree Center, which is located at 231 Peachtree Street, Northeast Atlanta. The defendant was found loitering at the property and had been given several warnings to leave the property, but he refused. No knowledge if he was ever given a trespass warning in the past. So we're asking for a $3,000 signature bond, a stay away from the hub at Peachtree Center, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. This is largely due to his criminal history.
Any objection to a $3,000 signature bond, Ms. Scant?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Banks, you know you can't go back to the hub. You realize that? All right, so don't go back there. $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Good luck to you, Mr. Banks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Come on, man.
Welcome.
Give me a second, Your Honor. It's gonna take him some time to get up.
Okay, all right.
You got it? Your Honor, we got position number 11, Mr. Penalova.
Good afternoon, Mr. Penalosa. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
You've been charged in case 22 CR 000730C with driving under the influence of alcohol less safe and failure to maintain lane or improper lane change. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
7 total. Last arrest was in May. DUI. It's open in state court. 21 CR 002-397C. Before that was 2017 DUI conviction. 2014 battery family violence, paid to appear for simple battery. Crew 10 the third, FTA was NOD. 2013 driving without a valid license conviction. 2011 crew 10 the third, simple battery, family violence. Those were dismissed. And before that was in 95. That's it.
Okay, Ms. Guidry?
Yes, Your Honor. So yesterday, officers were patrolling the area of Holcomb Bridge Road in Roswell when they got behind a Cadillac Escalade being driven by the defendant. As he followed the defendant's vehicle, he observed the vehicle failed to maintain lane multiple times on Holcomb Bridge Road. The officer activated his lights and the vehicle pulled into a parking lot and began to have difficulty pulling into a parking space. Once in the space, the vehicle made an erratic move forward, almost hitting the building, then slammed on brakes. Upon making contact with the driver, the officer noticed an odor of alcohol and asked the driver how many drinks the defendant had, which he stated he consumed 2. The officer asked the defendant to step out of the vehicle and he was unsteady on his feet. Officers then asked him to complete a field sobriety test, which he was unable to do due to him being unable to understand. They then asked him to complete a breathalyzer, which he blew numerous times, but still could not complete due to him still being unable to understand and comprehend what he was told to do, even while having a Spanish-speaking officer. Due to these reasons, he was arrested. Your Honor, we're asking for a $10,000 total surety bond, $9,000 for the DUI, and $1,000 for the failure to maintain lane. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and no driving. This is largely due to the defendant having a risk of reoffense, given that this is his 3rd DUI. The second still being open, as pretrial has stated, and him having his first DUI in 2017. He is a danger to the community, given that he continues to drive while being drunk, and if he continues to do so, he will likely kill someone. So that's why we're asking for the recommended bond.
What is the bond on the open case? Do you know? And what were the conditions?
Give me 1 second, Your Honor. I can look that up for you.
Okay. While you do that, Ms. Guidry, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. He is 43 years old and he has been here for Georgia for 25 years with the 5 children and his sister. He is working, gainfully employed as a landscape artist. He has been doing that for about 10 years. He has a high school degree. And if we limit his driving to the commute to go to work, I believe that he can manage that. And we would like to request for $1,000 signature, a surety bond, knowing that we have an open case right now. However, he really has to go back to work to provide support 5 children. So $1,000 surety bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
Your Honor, in the previous case, he was given a $2,500 good bond, no drugs or alcohol or weapons, and no driving without a valid license.
So I guess he has a valid license if you all didn't charge him with not having a valid license.
I believe so, and the officers didn't state whether or not his license was still suspended.
All right, so for the DUI less safe, it's going to be a $5,000 good bond. For the failure to maintain lane, it's going to be $1,000 good bond, so a total of a $6,000 good bond. No driving unless he's going to and from work. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. As a condition of this bond, Ms. Kim, he's going to be required to report to DUI court within 3 days of release.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have the information regarding that, so you can advise him?
I'll get it from Ms. Wanda.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Position number 6, Mr. Harris.
Good afternoon, Mr. Harris. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Harris, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000739E with battery and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Third arrest, 2014 probation violation. Underlying charge was possession of marijuana. And his first arrest was the marijuana.
Okay. Ms. Guidry?
Yes, Your Honor. So yesterday, officers responded to the location of 773 Python Drive in South Fulton. They spoke with Janae Whitaker, who stated that she and the defendant got into an argument in November of 2021. Ms. Whitaker and her aunt stated that the defendant entered the house to drop something off and asked someone if he could use the restroom. Ms. Whitaker was in the restroom and did not know that the defendant was inside of the house. When she opened the bathroom door to exit, the defendant punched her in the face twice, broke her glasses, and then left the house. She sustained a laceration to her right eye and a busted lip. They also spoke to the defendant, who stated the same, that there was an argument in 2021 of November between he and Ms. Whitaker, and that he hadn't seen Ms. Whitaker since November, and that he attempted to use the restroom. As Ms. Whitaker was coming out of the restroom, he hit her because he was unsure if Ms. Whitaker would attack him. Your Honor, we're asking for a $3,500 total surety, $3,000 for the battery, and $500 for the criminal trespass, a stay away from the incident location, no further contact with Janae Whitaker, 1-day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, this is largely due to the defendant attacking the victim seemingly after months later after an argument, and we want to ensure her safety, Your Honor. So that's why we're asking for the stated recommendation.
Who is Ms. Whitaker to Mr. Harris? Do you know?
They were best friends at one point in time.
And Python Drive, is that where Ms. Whitaker lives?
I believe so. We, according to our victim advocate, we called the victim and we left a message, so we were not able to contact her. But I'm pretty sure that's where she lives.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Gant?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Janae Whitaker does in fact reside at 773 Python Drive. And at this time, we are unopposed to the stay away. Mr. Harris has no reason to be there. Regarding Mr. Harris, he's 26 years old. He has been in the Atlanta area since 2010. He has community ties, including his mother and his father. He also is the proud father of a son, age 4 years old. He is the primary caretaker for his son and is not receiving much support from the child's mother. Mr. Harris completed high school, and currently he is in school now learning to be a medical assistant. He has about 2 semesters remaining. He is gainfully employed at Piedmont Fayette as a patient transporter. Your Honor, Mr. Harris denies the allegations. He states that he was acting in self-defense when he saw Ms. Whitaker. She was coming toward him with a clenched fist, and she made threats toward him, and he was merely taking actions to defend himself. Your Honor, we did not hear about any convictions of violence for Mr. Harris. Therefore, I am requesting a signature bond on his behalf, and if Your Honor determines he isn't eligible, then a bond lowest possible. He states that he only has $50 to $75 to his name until he gets paid, and he doesn't have any resources to help him make bond. And again, Your Honor, we are unopposed to any orders for no contact and the stay away at the stated address. Thank you.
So for the battery, it's a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. For the criminal trespass, a $500 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness class, stay away from the Python Drive address, and no further contact with Ms. Whitaker, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Got Mr. Henderson, Lorenzo Henderson, position number 7.
Your Honor, I'm requesting a breakout for that one.
Okay, so 15 and 5 also we're gonna handle. We're just gonna do these all at one time. So whomever we need in the breakout room, good afternoon, Ms. Falk, how are you?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm well.
Okay, so I guess both Ms. Guidry and Ms. Arnold, Ms. Gant, Ms. Falk, and I don't know if these cases are Ms. Kim's.
May we just invite Ms. Kim, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Bridgewater. This is Officer Norris in courtroom 2. What's your name? Mr. Murphy,
Yes,
you should be in that meeting also, right? Aren't you the attorney for position 15?
I don't have the calendar in front of me. I've got Washington and I've got
Yeah,
Tanner.
yeah, and that's position 15.
Okay, I'll put Mr. Murphy in.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, so we are back, and is this Mr. Henderson before me?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Henderson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar. We're conducting this calendar by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Henderson, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000738J with battery, family violence, and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard? Mr. Howard with us? All right.
This is his first arrest, though.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Guidry.
You're welcome. So yesterday, officers responded to 2430 Bellevue Avenue, Atlanta. They spoke with Shakita Law, who stated that her and the defendant got into an argument and he began to punch and choke her. The victim then attempted to call the police and exit the home. While outside, Ms. Law advised that the defendant followed her outside and then continued to fight with her. Police were dispatched to the back to the residence. Later, when officers entered, the defendant was already detained. While detained, he attempted to pull away multiple times by lunging his body weight away from officers' grasp. The accused locked his arms, preventing officers to walk him to the patrol vehicle. The accused yelled and continued to pull away, causing the officer's hand to become entangled with the handcuffs, causing lacerations to his fingers and his watch to crack. At the time of the incident, the parties did live together. We're asking for a $3,500 surety, $3,000 for the battery, and $500 for the obstruction, a stay away from the incident location, no further contact with Shakita, that is CHIQUETA Law, 1 day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and the other stated conditions.
Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Lorenzo Henderson is 17 years old. He is born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. He has family here. Your Honor, we are opposed to the stay away at 2430 Bellevue Avenue. He states that that is his residence and that Ms. Chiquita Law was there for about 1 week, but as he understands it, she is no longer there and that her mom came to pick her up. Your Honor, Mr. Henderson completed the 11th grade. He also went on to obtain his GED. He is gainfully employed. He has been working at Hero Tires. It's a family business. He states since age is 12 or 13 in a protected family setting. Your Honor, he denies the allegations. He states that the police tackled him and that he was not resisting arrest and that the handcuffs scratched the officer's wrist. He also denies making any physical contact with Ms. Law. He states that he was basically asking her to leave his home. She then became violent and began scratching herself. And he states that he has video footage of this incident, Your Honor. Therefore, based on my client's lack of any history whatsoever, I am requesting a signature bond on his behalf, Your Honor. We are again opposed to the stay away and he is unopposed to no contact with Ms. Law at this time. Thank you.
So he's gonna need somebody to sign for him, Ms. Gant. Does he have a parent?
Yes, to me, Tamela Daniels. She
Spell that.
agreed to TAMELA.
The last name?
Daniels, common spelling.
And who is Ms. Daniels to Mr. Henderson?
She is his mother. And Your Honor, she has informed me that she does not have a utility bill that matches her current address, but she has a driver's license that does.
Your client has his hand up, Ms. Gant.
Mr. Henderson, I advise you to not speak. The judge is taking our arguments into consideration and he will rule momentarily.
Okay. And Your Honor, in regards to the stay away, we ask that you still order the stay away. However, if you consider not to, that you issue it unless Ms. Law has left. Our victim advocate was not able to contact her due to us not having any contact information. And we do not know whether or not she still is there since this incident did occur yesterday.
Mr. Henderson, I advise you to remain silent, sir. Just please allow the judge to rule.
I
Okay?
just want to state that you spelled my mama name wrong.
Oh, I do apologize for not allowing you to speak. Please respell for us.
Cammyla.
And is Miss Daniels on the line with us?
No, she is not, Your Honor. She's working now.
Okay. I'm gonna waive the utility bill, Mr. Howard.
You gotta wait for me to send it to you.
If you get it to Ms. Bridgewater, Ms. Bridgewater can get it to me, and I'll return it in the packet when I return the paperwork to Ms. Bridgewater. Will that work, Ms. Bridgewater?
It will.
You want me to email it to you?
Oh, yeah, or you can do that. Or you can do that. Thank
Okay,
you.
that's fine.
All
Okay.
right. So Mr. Henderson, it's gonna be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial for the battery family violence, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial for the obstruction of a law enforcement officer. You're gonna have to have a co-signer, which is gonna be your mother, Ms. Daniels. Is he staying with his mother, Ms. Gant?
He indicated that he is not, Your Honor.
Whose address is this Bellevue Avenue address?
He states that that is an Airbnb, a rooming house that is in his name.
And Your Honor, again, we don't know whether or not Ms. Law has left. So
He's staying in Airbnb as a 17-year-old by himself? Is that what
Yes,
you're telling me?
Yes, Your Honor.
The only one left for intake.
And no type of parental supervision?
Well, I mean, his mother is in touch with him and she is aware of his living situation, Your Honor, and he's in contact with her.
let me see if I can ascertain how old Ms. Law is.
No, my concern, Ms. Gant, is that he is a 17-year-old young man in 11th grade living someplace by himself, it appears, or with possibly an ex-girlfriend. How is he maintaining himself?
He is employed at Hero Tires, which is a family business. And he states that he has been working there in that family business since he's age 12 or 13 years old under parental supervision. A one-day anger awareness class. Stay away from Shakita Law, no further contact with Shakita Law. If Shakita Law is at this Bellevue Avenue address, then he necessarily can't go back there because he has to stay away from her. So he can go back there as long as she's not there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Yeah, mother's name again.
Tamayla.
TA, not CA.
I said T, right?
Okay, no, I was just making sure. Okay, last name Daniels.
All right. Ms. Falk, you have something else?
Yes, Your Honor, putting aside the concerns I have regarding everything that I just heard, I do have one request, which is, can the no further contact, if he is allowed to go back to that address, can it be in the form of a one-time police escort to ascertain if Miss Law is at that address still or not? I just don't feel comfortable with him going over there and escorted to make the determination whether she's staying there or not.
Okay, I mean, I think that's reasonable.
And we have no objections, Your Honor.
Okay, so he can go back to Bellevue Avenue, but initially it has to be with an escort from law enforcement to ascertain if if Miss Law is there. If Miss Law is there, then Mr. Henderson, you are gonna have to use that escort to retrieve any belongings that you have there. And then you would not be able to return.
And Your Honor, are you also ordering the social worker? I think I see a few concerns, and I think a social worker is needed, as stated.
We object for reasons stated. His mother is quite aware of his circumstances and she's.
Well, if you know, to be quite honest, I was leaning your way, Ms. Gant, until I heard this young man's situation, which I unfortunately can't do anything about, but what I can do is make sure that his welfare is looked after. So I will include that there should be a visit from a social worker.
Okay, I'm happy to enter that consult, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Gant.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's the inmate social worker or like a well-being social worker?
We'll discuss that with you, Mr. Howard.
All right, because I do have to note it. That's why I'm asking.
I know.
Okay.
So, okay. Good luck to you, Mr. Henderson.
Thank you very much.
Position number 8, Mr. Harrington.
Good afternoon, Mr. Harrington. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Harrington, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000737G with battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Second arrest. I got 2010 shoplifting dismissed after PTI.
Okay. Who's handling this case?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, what position is this?
Position 8. Mr. Harrington?
Yes, sir.
Oh, no, I see you there, Mr. Harrington. I'm just trying to figure out who's presenting for the state, sir.
Your Honor, since everyone seems to be a bit confused about which person is handling this, I can handle this case.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Falk.
If you'll just give me a moment.
Okay.
Who's Ms. Gant?
Yeah, I think that's all right.
Ms. Gant, did you speak to him?
Yes, yes.
Okay, Your Honor, this involves an incident that happened over at 868 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard. The defendant actually assaulted a person by the name of Dennis Ferguson, and that is Dennis common spelling Ferguson, Ferguson. He stated that they were at the Marquette Lounge, and Mr. Ferguson stated that 2 weeks ago while he was at the club, a person named Brian, later identified as the defendant, wanted to fight him. He was not able to provide many more pieces of information other than that. He stated that on the date that this incident happened, 11/16/2020, he was in the club. The defendant noticed him, stated, "I've been wanting to fight you all night, so let's step outside." He stated, Mr. Ferguson stated he ignored the defendant, continued to mind his own business, but then at some point, the defendant became agitated that he was being ignored and then decided to swing on Mr. Ferguson. Mr. Ferguson stated that as the defendant was beating on him, his friends also joined into the assault. And at that point, the club security officers had to come and break up the altercation. Mr. Ferguson had abrasions and lacerations to his face and lip area as a result of this attack. And it appears that, this is essentially an unprovoked attack, Your Honor. It seems like Mr. Ferguson was doing what he could to avoid a fight, and the defendant apparently was displeased with the fact that he was being ignored and decided to attack Mr. Ferguson. So to that end, we are asking for a $3,000 surety bond. We are asking that the defendant stay away from the location that I have previously listed, which is the Marquette, MARQUETTE Lounge at 868 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, Northwest. We are also asking that he have no further contact with Mr. Dennis Ferguson. We are further asking for one-day anger awareness, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Thank you, Ms. Falk. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Brandon Harrington is 29 years old. He is a long-term Atlanta resident. He has family here, including his parents and his siblings and a grandmother. Your Honor, we are unopposed to the stay away. Mr. Harrington has no reason to return to that location. He obtained a GED, and he also went on to obtain an associate's degree in business administration. He is currently employed at the Surf Daiquiri Bar. He has been a server there for the past 5 years. Regarding the allegations, he denies the allegations. He states that he had been in the past bullied by Mr. Dennis Ferguson and that he was merely defending himself. Your Honor, in light of my client's negative history for convictions of violence, I am requesting a signature bond on his behalf. And again, we are unopposed to the stay away the no contact orders. Thank you.
All right, so it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, one-day anger awareness class, no further contact with Mr. Ferguson, and stay away from the Marquette Lounge. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Harrington.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We got position number 13, Mr. Tanner. Tanner or Tina? Tanner.
That's my case, Judge.
Okay. And good afternoon. Is it Tanner or Tanner?
Tanner.
Tanner. Good afternoon, sir. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar. We're conducting this calendar by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 000729B with battery family violence. Any other history than what has already been presented to me, Mr. Howard?
No, she ruined my fun.
Say it again.
I said, no, she ruined my fun.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. So the facts are still the same, no additional facts to add. We are requesting, based on the fact that he, as I have already stated, had good bonds for both of those cases and continue to go back to the location and continue to have contact with Ms. Moss. We are asking for a $5,000 cash bond, that there be no further contact with Ms. Kiana Moss, Kiana spelled Kianna, Moss spelled traditionally, and a stay away from the 500 Northside Circle in Atlanta, and that there be no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Mr. Murphy?
Judge, that's correct that he was staying with Miss Moss. My client indicated during these last 4 or 5 weeks, he's essentially been homeless. He has no discernible assets. But I've had a lengthy discussion with him. My client disputes the charges. My client had been married previously and was trying to arrange a visitation with a child from his previous marriage. And Miss Moss became a little agitated. A disagreement ensued, and then my client was stabbed repeatedly in the shoulder and other parts of the torso. Now, Judge, my client has no discernible assets. He finished high school. He does not have a trade. He's pretty much characterized as underemployed. My client can go reside with his mother over in DeKalb County. It's at 4326 Glen Haven Drive, Decatur, Georgia, 30035. My client received numerous wounds, staples and stitches throughout his body. He'll certainly will stay away. But the previous conduct was due to the fact he was homeless, and purportedly the Miss Moss is with child, and And perhaps my client may be the father of the child, but probably wasn't the best living arrangement. But I'd ask the court to consider signature bond given the no resources whatsoever, but he can reside with his mother. And I'd ask for a one-time visit with law enforcement because he has some clothing and I believe he has some sort of transportation. He didn't specify if it was a car or a motorcycle. And deputies, on a side note, Mr. Tanner mistaken me for a lawyer named Dennis Fortin. So perhaps his disparaging remarks were geared towards Mr. Fortin and not me, Dennis Murphy. So we did clarify that.
He cleared it up for me, Mr. Murphy. He cleared it up.
Okay, so, but Judge, given the lack of resources and he was a victim of an attack, and he's certainly going to need to heal and be able to see a physician to treat these numerous wounds. He certainly can't take stitches or staples out of his own body, especially if it's on his back shoulder. But I'd ask the court to consider a signature bond or a reasonable good bond in the alternative. But again, he's indicated he has no assets. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, if I may.
Go ahead, Ms. Arnold.
Okay, yeah, Your Honor, I just want to be clear that I stated this on the record again, that for the battery, family violence, and cruelty to children case that he has open, he already received a $2,000 good bond on that case with a no further contact and a stay away from this same incident location. And then on the battery, family violence, from the beginning of this year, again, he received a $2,000 good bond with no further contact with Ms. Moss, and also, again, a stay away from the location, Your Honor. So we do believe that if he is able to be released, he will return to that location. And we are very concerned about Mrs. Moss' safety, Your Honor. So we are, again, requesting the $5,000 cash bond.
Okay, and that's my problem with this, Mr. Murphy, is that the court has already ordered him to stay away. And had he stayed away, he would not be in the position that he's in. You know, he's got the same allegations with the same alleged victim at the same alleged location. So I would be remiss if I went down on him, and he got a $2,000 good bond in those, so he's got some resources from somewhere. Otherwise, he would not have been able to, to make those bonds. So I can't go in the opposite direction when he has, and I don't know if I issued those stayaways or if it was somebody, another judge.
Your Honor.
Okay, but he's in clear violation of the court's order, which means that he has no respect for the court. And I understand it's, his alleged circumstances that he didn't have anywhere else to go, but he's got to go somewhere besides Miss Moss's address. So it's going to be a $5,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Moss. Stay away from the North Side Circle address. He can go back to that address with law enforcement on one occasion to retrieve any belongings that he may have there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. Take the wisdom of the court.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy.
And Mr. Tanner, I'll reach out to your family shortly. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay, have a good evening. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Judge.
Who do we have next?
Position number 4, Mr. Gonzalez.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gonzalez. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Gonzalez, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000736C with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This is first adult arrest.
Ms. Guidry?
Yes, Your Honor. Yesterday, officers responded to 1407 Belcourt Parkway in Roswell. They responded to the location due to a 911 call where the caller was screaming for a male not to hurt her and that she could not leave. When they arrived, they spoke to Veronica Gillian, who was the caller, who, after being apprehensive about speaking, told officers that the argument ensued and that the defendant shoved her into a piece of furniture, causing a cut and a bruise to the back of her knee. The defendant then grabbed her hair and held her down by her hair. She also believed that the defendant struck her on her jaw and back prior to the police, on her jaw and back. And then prior to the police arrival, he stated to her that her family was next. Ms. Gillian is concerned that the defendant would act on his threats due to him knowing where her family lives. She also stated to police that this is one of many incidences between she and the defendant where he has become physical with her and has beaten her. In the past, he has beaten her after she has given birth to her son with an open C-section. He also stated to her in the past, when she attempted to leave, that the only way she would be leaving would be in a coffin. While she was speaking to officers, the defendant texted her and stated that she had done him dirty. The parties do have a child together, and after officers left, she packed her belongings and left yesterday as well. We're asking for a $5,000 surety bond, no further contact with Veronica Gillian or her family, 1-day anger awareness, third-party contact with the child, 1-day escort for the victim if she has any other belongings there at the home, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, this is largely due to the defendant having a risk of reoffense due to there being no 24-hour cool-off period, and the victim stating that he has a history of violence upon her. However, officers not being called. And we're sure that she's tired of these incidents occurring, so now she's finally called, Your Honor. We're also stating that he is a danger to the community, given that he's also threatened violence against her family. And he has an intimidation of the witness, given that he's threatened her as well, Your Honor. So we're asking for the $5,000 surety due to her safety.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Sergio Gonzalez is 22 years old. He is a long-term Atlanta resident. As we heard, he shares a 1-year-old son with Miss Veronica Gillian. Your Honor, Mr. Gonzalez has completed the 11th grade. He is gainfully employed at Polera as a cook. He has been in that position for the past 7 months. He denies the allegations, Your Honor. He states that Ms. Gillian approached him in a threatening manner and that he denies having any physical contact with her whatsoever, and that she cut herself and that she has a history of doing this. Now, Your Honor, we heard a lot about my client with no prior history for violence, being a danger to the community, intimidating the witness, and reoffending. Well, Your Honor, we have been unable to reach out to Ms. Gillian, so we are unopposed to a stay away, and we are also unopposed to no contact. And I believe that those orders will ensure that there is no further contention between the parties here. And again, he denies the allegations and he's presumed innocent. Your Honor, therefore, I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Gonzalez's behalf. And again, we are unopposed to the one-time law enforcement transfer so that Ms. Gillian can retrieve her belongings. And as he explained to me, she left the residence with her mother and that he currently resides at that apartment and the lease is in his name. And of course, the third-party transfer, we like the court to ensure that that is in place. Thank you.
Spell Ms. Gillian's last name for the court, please.
Guillen.
Okay, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. I'm not sure if that's per judge or not. 1-day anger awareness class. Stay away from Ms. Gillian. No further contact with no further contact with Ms. Gillian. Stay away from he can go back to the Bell Court. She can go there with law enforcement on one occasion to retrieve any belongings that she may have. No drugs, no alcohol or weapons while out on bond.
Yeah, that's per judge.
Okay. Per judge.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, are you also ordering a third-party contact with the child?
If he's going to have contact, it's going to have to be through a third party since he cannot have any contact with Ms. Gillian in person or any other way.
Okay.
Okay. Good luck to you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, position number 17, Mr. Wright.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wright. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. You've been charged in case 22 CR 000732C with battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
First arrest.
Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident happened yesterday at 107 Center Street Northwest, apartment 301 in Atlanta. Ms. Charlene Mayfield advised that she and the defendant were in an argument over the defendant not being able to locate certain documents in order to file his taxes. Ms. Mayfield told the defendant to get out of her room, and that caused the defendant to become violent. The defendant grabbed and squeezed Ms. Mayfield's right arm and continued to clench her arm as he pushed her up against the wall. As a result, Ms. Mayfield was left with bruises on the inside of her elbow and abrasions on the inside of her right upper arm. During the altercation, Ms. Mayfield yelled out, "Oh, that's what we doing now? You putting hands on me now?" And unfortunately, the defendant's 14-year-old son was in the home and heard the altercation. Your Honor, based on the facts of this case, we are requesting a $4,000 surety bond for count 1 for the battery, family violence, and a $1,000 surety bond for count 2 for the cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, for a total of a $5,000 surety bond. We're asking that there be no further contact with Ms. Charlene Mayfield. Charlene spelled CHARLENE, Mayfield spelled MAYFIELD, and a stay away from 107 Central Street Northwest, apartment 301, a 1-day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, the victim in this case, Ms. Mayfield, we were able to reach out to her. And she did inform us that her and the defendant were dating, but they broke up. However, they do reside at that residence together. She said that she would be here on the Zoom if you want to address her. She did also mention that she did not fear the defendant. However, considering that this did just happen yesterday, we are concerned that there has not been enough time to cool off. So we are still requesting that there be no further contact, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Mayfield, I think I see you there. I'm going to give you the opportunity to speak in a moment if you like, okay? I think she might be frozen now. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright actually is 42 years old, and he told me that Mrs. Mayfield does not live in the apartment 107 Center. He has a lease in his name, so stay away from his own place is not appropriate. However, we do not oppose to no further contact or no drug, alcohol, and weapon. And he has a job as an apartment maintenance manager, so he would like he's gainfully employed, and he would like to keep his job, so he wants to get out of the jail as fast as he can. And of course, there's no criminal history on his file, and we would like to request for a signature bond on him so he can get out and spend time with his son, who is 14 years old. And that's it, Your Honor.
Ms. Mayfield, if this is you and you'd like to address the court, I'll need for you to raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
I would like to tell the court that I did live here. I work from home, so I work from here. I spoke with my supervisor in regards to it, to the situation, and I have a couple of days off from work to try to find relocation and to make sure that the area I relocate to, I would be able to work from there. So I'm actually working on arrangements to leave the residence.
Okay.
But I do reside here. I have been here since the 24th of October.
All right. And the 14-year-old that I made reference to, is that your child together?
No, it is his child. I do not have any children, but the child is here at the residence with me.
Okay, all right.
And his grandmother will be here today to be with him.
All right, and you don't want any further contact with Mr. Wright, I understand?
I have nothing against Mr. Wright. He's not that type of guy where I have to look over my shoulder or watch myself. I don't have any issues with Mr. Wright. We can still, speak because we don't hate each other. I just think we're better off just being separate. Trying to do the roommate friend thing isn't really working like we thought it was. But other than that, Mr. Wright, he's not a bad guy, but he does have a temper. So if the counseling works for him, then so be it. But other than that, it's not where if I see him walking, I have to cross the street. No.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Anything further, Ms. Arnold, Ms. Kim?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, so for the battery family violence, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. For the cruelty to children, it's going to be a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial. A one-day anger awareness class. No further violent contact with Ms. Mayfield, and stay away from the 107 Center Street Southwest address until Ms. Mayfield has the opportunity to relocate to another residence. So,
Excuse me, Your Honor, it'll be 24 hours from today.
okay, all right. So he can go back again. He can go back to that residence as long as Ms. Mayfield is not there. Ms. Kim, your client has his hand up.
I strongly advise you not to speak, Mr. Wright, unless it is related to the bond issue, because it will be used against you. So.
All right. So
That's
no
it.
drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right. Anything further?
Say something though.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Wright. Ms. Mayfield also.
I still would like to say something.
You've been advised by your counsel, Mr. Wright, that anything you say can and will be used against you, but it's up to you as to whether you will take her advice.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Okay, all right. Well, you have a good afternoon, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, you're waiting for me?
Oh, I'm sorry. I took you saying that's fine as that you did not want to speak.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that everything, is thank you for everything and the same thing, I don't fear, her or nothing like that, and everything that y'all said was exactly right.
Okay, well, good afternoon, sir. Thank you.
The position number 15, Mr. Washington.
So, Your Honor, this is the one we addressed in the breakout room.
Right. So just for the jail there, we've already discussed this case. For count one, it's going to be $1,000 good bond. For count two, it's going to be $1,000 good bond. No further violent contact, and the other stipulation with Deputy Merritt, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And I believe, Ms. Bridgewater, you have that second condition.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything further on Mr. Washington?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You understood what happened? Okay.
What was the bond?
It's a total of a $2,000 good bond, $1,000 for each count.
Okay. That's it, right? I don't have no more files.
Your Honor, Mr. Jones is quarantined. He's a reset. Medical, and Mr. David Williams. Same thing, quarantine, reset.
Okay, so we're gonna reset both of them for tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay, so that's reset for this 2/16.
Number 9, number 16.
Yes.
And also, Your Honor, I heard you guys did a breakout for position 5, Alex Griffin.
Yes, he's reset for tomorrow also.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
Hopefully I'll be able to bring him then, but it's
Right.
it's beneficial.
right, we understand, that's why, you know, I don't believe that he's been interviewed either, so I understand that you all have issues with it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you, we
All right,
appreciate
thank
it.
you. All right.
All right,
You
Ms.
ready?
Bridgewater, whenever you're ready.
I'm ready. Again, the reset date for SAP is March the 1st. Position number 1 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position 2 is reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position 3 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 4 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 5 is reset till tomorrow. Position 6 is reset further notice with a $3,500 total SOB through pretrial. Position 7 is reset further notice with a $3,000 total SOB through pretrial. Position 8 is reset further notice with $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 9 is reset till tomorrow. Position 10 is reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 11 is reset SAP with a $6,000 total good bond. Position 12 is reset further notice with a $2,500 SOB through the jail. Position 13 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $5,000 good bond. Position 14 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 15 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 total good bond. Position 16 is being reset till tomorrow. Position 17 is being reset further notice with a $3,000 total SOB through pretrial. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns otherwise? No?
No.
Good.
All right,
Okay.
we'll see you all tomorrow. Oh, no, I won't, so.
Oh, and I won't either. Look, we'll see you when we see you, okay?
Yeah, y'all ain't gotta rub that in.
All right, y'all
Okay,
have a
take
good
care,
evening.
everybody.
Have a good afternoon, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.